70,000 ringgit allocated to aid Longhouse fire victims. 2 police officers freed from 8 charges. Argentina utilizes Bitcoin transaction. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Cheryl Chamato and this is TVS Nightline. The Sarawak government will allocate a fund of 70,000 ringgit for the aid of victims should there be a Longhouse fire incident. In addition, Deputy Premier Dr. Ahmad Douglas Uga Amba said help from the Welfare Department or the JKM community of Sarawak will also be extended.
Bagi kerajaan negeri Sarawak, apabila ada kebakaran berlaku, bangsanya hilang rumah panjang, hilang rumah dan mereka juga kehilangan barang-barang makanan dan sebagainya. So we have assisted from Jabatan Kemajuan Masyarakat, memang ada untuk membantu. Bagi kerajaan negeri Sarawak, kita telah berniat telah meluluskan bahawa kalau ada berlaku kebakaran rumah panjang ataupun rumah persendirian, kita akan memberi bantuan maximum of 70,000 to rebuild the affected longhouses or individual houses in Kampong.
He also added that applications for the aid can be done at the district office, attached with a report from the fire department.
Pintu yang terbakar.
Satu pintu yang
terbakar. Because sometimes 24 door tergatal. And then when they build a new longhouse, ada tambah 10 lagi. Yang tambah tu not qualified oleh yang terbakar. And the same for the kampung-kampung juga. Rumah kampung yang terbakar single house.
Two police officers who were accused of conducting oral sex, fornication and extortion on a couple last year were released from 8 charges by the Kota Bharu Sessions Court. Judge Ahmad Basli Baruddin's verdict was made due to substantial evidence for the prima facie case against both of the accused. Both defendants were released without having to defend themselves on all of the charges. Previously, Corporal Muhammad Hanafi, 37, and Lance Corporal Muhammad Izauddin, 32, pleaded not guilty in Kota Bharu Session Court on 8 charges of committing oral sex, fornication, and extortion on a couple. According to the facts of the case, the 2 police officers were accused of instructing a man to commit excessive obscenity against his 20-year-old partner in an abandoned factory at Padang Tembak, Bangkalan Cepa between 10:45 p.m. to 12 midnight on December 4, 2020. Both of the accused were also charged with 2 separate charges, where Hanafi was accused of raping the victim while instructing her boyfriend to strip naked with the intention of disgracing the accuser further, while Izauddin was charged for violence as he punched the male victim while performing sexual intercourse with the female victim. The act was performed at Patni Lah Bridge and the parking lot of Masjid Padang Tembak between 10:45 p.m. to 12 midnight on the same date. The prosecution was conducted by Deputy Public Prosecutor Abu Arsalna Zainal Abidin, while the 2 defendants were represented by lawyers Mashta Muhammad and Muhammad Firdaus Zainal Abidin. Due to the lack of the peso's currency, which has depreciated 14% this year against the dollar, young Argentines are utilizing cryptocurrency to pay for their coffee. In downtown Buenos Aires lies a flourishing Crip Station cafe, where patrons order their lattes and pastries surrounded by screens with real-time cryptocurrency price quotes. Now, this draw towards the digital currency is the offset to years of painful inflation in South America, now running near 60%.
Arrancamos en Argentina principalmente porque mirando Latinoamérica, digamos, no es menor entender el contexto que Argentina es pionero en términos de adopción de criptomonedas. Lo que propone Cryptation es poder bajar a la economía real el uso de las criptomonedas. Es decir, hoy en Argentina se utiliza como resguardo de su capital debido al contexto inflacionario, pero nosotros lo que queremos es que más allá de que se pueda atesorar, la criptomoneda se puede usar también en la vida diaria.
America's Market Intelligence in April reported that the crypto penetration in Argentina was 12%, which is twofold compared to the penetration in Mexico and Brazil. Adoption in hyperinflation-plagued Venezuela is even higher, according to a recent report by Chain Analysis. This trend, according to another cryptocurrency founder, Julian Casilla, is rooted in the demand of clients to diversify their investment portfolios.
La idea de los clientes, por lo general, casi siempre es la misma. Buscan diversificar sus inversiones, tener un poco en todos lados, ya sea bienes raíces, un poco del mercado de stocks y un poco también en criptomonedas. La minería es un ingreso pasivo, vos no tenés que dedicarle tiempo para que genere una rentabilidad. Entonces vos enchufás el rig, enchufás el ASIC a la corriente eléctrica y a internet y ya te está generando una rentabilidad todos los días en una criptomoneda, ya sea Bitcoin o Ethereum. Esa rentabilidad la puedes guardar, la puedes cambiar por moneda fiat como pueden ser dólares o pesos o lo que quieras.
Annual inflation could go as high as 70% this year, making cryptocurrency more attractive, especially for those who are struggling with poverty. 23-year-old Sebastian Carsorio is an avid crypto miner and hopes the digital currency will be a way out of his financial problem.
La criptomoneda no se basa en la economía del país, entonces me beneficia mucho eso, que aunque aumente, que se evalúe la plata, como las criptomonedas no se basa en el peso, sino en el dólar, el euro, entonces voy a tener la misma plata.
Dato Sri Nancy Shukri is prepared to face the upcoming 15th general elections if she is named as a candidate to represent Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS. The minister's promise is to bring about more development, especially that which relates to the digitalization of economies in Sarawak. Despite her aspirations, the final decision rests in the hands of the state's premier, Dato Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng.
Untuk menjadi calon ini bukan menjadi hak kita untuk mengatakan saya mau menjadi calon, itu terpulanglah kepada Premier yang menjadi pemimpin kepada parti kita, parti GPS dan juga parti PBB khususnya. Jadi siapa yang akan menjadi calon terpulang kepada beliau, melihat dari segi performance kita dan juga melihat dari segi dan sokongan orang kepada kita. Jadi bukan kepada kami sebagai wakil rakyat sekarang ini. Kita hanya menjalankan tugas.
Nancy spoke when met by the press after the launching ceremony of the Gawai celebrations in Batang Sadong.
A new port will be established in Gedong to export agricultural products directly from the area. The Premier of Sarawak and the Gedong Assemblyman Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng said the state government has planned several development projects to be implemented soon.
Kalau kita ada pelabuhan port baru, jadi barang kita boleh kita ekspor. Jadi bermaknanya Gedong dekat dengan port, dengan airport, dua-dua. Jadi kalau kita bisik tanah, kita mansang majukan tanah, food security untuk makan.
Elaborating further on Gedong's development, Johari disclosed that the constituency will have a new district office to enable better governance. Johari spoke during the Gedong Manta Gawai ceremony that took place at RTC Multi-Purpose Hall in Ulu Gedong. At the same time, the Premier has also approved an additional allocation of 400,000 ringgit to be utilized by Gedong's branch of Unit for Other Religions, Unit 4. This was following the rise in price of construction materials to build the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kampong Batu Pengasa and St. Mark Chapel in Gayau. The initial allocation for both projects is 500,000 ringgit.
37 Rural Transformation Programs, or RTP, under the Ngema constituency have been approved, with a total allocation of 5 million ringgit. According to Ngema's Assemblyman Anyi Jana, a substantial amount from the allocated sum will be used to construct facilities that are much needed in the constituency.
RTP kebanyakan untuk bagian infrastruktur, seperti tapak rumah, jalan, parit, water supply dan sebagainya. Sebab kita memang menumpukan infrastruktur sebagai fokus kita untuk operasional rumah.
Anyi spoke during the Ziarah Ukas program in conjunction with the Gawai Dayak celebration at Rumah Aji Nanggatada in Kanoet on Sunday. During the same event, Anyi also disclosed a total of 1.1 million ringgit had been allocated for the first phase of the Ngema's Minor Rural Projects MRP.
MRP, jadi setakat fasa pertama ini telah diluluskan 1.1 juta untuk rumah. Jadi di Nanggatada ini tadi ada 9 JKK lah, ya telah kita agihkan terlebih dahulu. Jadi untuk fasa 2, baki daripada yang masih belum diagihkan itu, nanti kita akan cuba usahakan dalam masa terdekat inilah.
Coming up after the break, TNB's Q1 net profit eases. Gawai preparations roaming in excitement. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Tenaga Nasional Berhad, or TNB, net profit for the first quarter ended March 31, 2022 eased to 893.10 million ringgit from 958.70 million ringgit in Q1 2021. However, its revenue had increased 36.4% year-on-year YOY to 15.65 billion ringgit from 11.47 billion ringgit previously, mainly due to the under-recovery position of imbalanced cost pass-through of 3.50 billion ringgit in Q1 2022 compared with the ICPT of 327.3 million ringgit in Q1 2021. In a filing with Bursa Malaysia, it said operating expenses rose by 46.9% YOY to 13.43 billion ringgit from 9.14 billion ringgit previously, mainly due to higher fuel prices. Nonetheless, its operating profit recorded a slight increase of 41.8 million ringgit or 1.8% YOY to 2.67 billion ringgit due to a lower net loss on impairment of financial instruments. The group reported a resilient performance during the quarter under review, underpinned by electricity demand growth of 4%, consistent with the overall improvement of Malaysia's gross domestic product (GDP) of 5% year-on-year. TNB said it foresees a reasonable performance this year with the implementation of Regulatory Period 3 effective February 1, 2022. However, the group remains cautious on the prolonged increase in coal price and impact from increased customers' credit risk outlook. As Gawai celebrations are around the corner come June 1, the Dayak community in the state are busy for their last-minute preparations. Although the standard operating procedures set are to be complied, however, excitement is still roaming as locals can finally celebrate the Gawai celebration with their loved ones back to normal. Now here's what our locals have to say.
Minggu sebelum Hari Gawai, kita akan membeli barang, membuat persiapan seperti membeli kuih muih, menyediakan kuih muih, membeli minuman untuk tetamu. Nasihat kepada pengguna jalan raya supaya bila balik kampung hati-hati di jalan raya. Patuh periksa kereta dalam keadaan baik supaya selamat sampai di rumah masing-masing.
Sebenarnya kalau pembelian last minute ni seronok tau. Sebab we have the spirit of having Gawai. Ya, terutama sekali pembelian seperti makanan, pakaian dan sebagainya. Sangat menyeronokkan sebenarnya last minute preparation itu. Ya, dan macam benda-benda itu sentiasa ada. No worry now. You have a lot of cakes, a lot of food, a lot of drinks, a lot of pakaian dan sebagainya.
Saya rasa bersyukur dan juga berasa gembira kerana pada tahun ini kami dapat berkumpul bersama dalam meraihkan perayaan Hari Gawai untuk tahun ini berbanding dengan tahun sebelumnya.
Now 2 more days left before the Dayak community celebrates the Harvest Festival, as airports in West Malaysia are now packed when Sarawakians do not want to miss their chance to go back to their hometowns. While there are some who waited for almost 7 hours prior to the flight, there were also those who stayed overnight in worries to miss their flight back home. Now TVS Johor reports from Senai International Airport. For Connie Suntong, a local from Lundu, she anticipates the return back to her family from her longhouse as she missed the reunion a few years ago. Connie, who resides in Nusajaya, Iskandar Putri, said the last time she went back to her longhouse was in 2017. However, it was postponed as her husband was on duty during Gawai in Singapore.
Tahun 2022 ni lah kita boleh balik lah berkumpul dengan keluarga. Sebab COVID tahun depan kita nak balik, bersiap nak balik ke Sarawak juga nak Gawai. Tapi dah COVID kan, masa tu kita tak boleh balik. Jadi terkendala. Dah tahun ni, tahun 2022 ni kita boleh balik. Itulah gembira.
For siblings Christina Grass and Elizabeth Katrina, nothing makes them happier than bearing a gift back home to their grandmother amidst the Gawai celebration.
Rasa happy sangatlah. Dapat balik, dapat jumpa dengan family lagi. Ada persiapan beli baju untuk nenek kat kampung.
Perasaan terharu and then bahagialah. Persiapan nak Gawai. Yes, bersama keluarga lah. Kumpul balik.
Yeah. For the record, an estimated total of over 20,000 Sarawakins are living in Johor Darul Taksim. Of the total, 70% consists of the Iban community, who will return to Sarawak ahead of Gawai Day celebration on June 1 by flight to Kuching, Sibu, Miri and Bintulu. In other matters, bad weather has been hindering search efforts to find the missing plane that went off the radar in the mountainous area of Nepal with 22 people on board. Helicopters were deployed to the last known location of the plane but have yet to find any wreckage.
Tara Air spokesman Sudarshan Batola gave an official statement from the private airline company.
त्यसमा चाहिँ 19 जना प्यासेन्जरहरु मध्येमा चाहिँ 2 जना जर्मन नागरिकहरु हुनुहुन्छ, 4 जना इन्डियन सिटिजन हुनुहुन्छ र बाँकी 13 जना चाहिँ नेपाली नागरिकहरु हुनुहुन्छ। अहिले सम्मको हाम्रो इन्फर्मेसन चाहिँ त्यही छ र अहिले पोखराबाट जोमसुमको लागि उद्धारको लागि गएको हेलिकप्टर मिसिङ साइटको लागि खोज्नको लागि गएको हेलिकप्टर पनि वेदर बिग्रेको कारण फर्केको।
The plane had taken off on May 29th from the tourist town of Pokhara, some 125 kilometers west of the capital Kathmandu, for Jomsom, a town about 80 kilometers to the northwest.
पोखराबाट जोमसुमको लागि बिहान 9:55 मा तारा एयरको 9N AET कल साइन भएको ट्विन अटर एयरक्राफ्ट 19 जना प्यासेन्जर सहित उडेको थियो र त्यसमा 3 जना चालक दलका सदस्य हुनुहुन्थ्यो र त्यो जहाज चाहिँ उडेको 15 मिनेटपछि सम्पर्कविहीन भयो।
Nepal's weather office had reported thick clouds over the Pokhara-Jomsom area since early morning that day. The country has reported several air accidents in the past where the weather can drastically change quite suddenly in the mountainous area.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, Liverpool players and coaches celebrated a successful trophy-laden season with an open-top bus parade on Sunday, May 29. Flares and fireworks added colour and noise to the event, where the Liverpool side showed off the FA Cup and League Cup trophies they won this season. The likes of Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Jurgen Klopp were all in place to wave to hundreds of thousands of fans who lined the streets of the city. Liverpool came very close to winning an unprecedented quadruple, but fell at the final hurdle for both the Premier League and Champions League. Last week, Manchester City fought back to win 3-2 against Aston Villa and beat Liverpool to the English League title by 1 point on the last day of the season. On Saturday, Real Madrid also clinched a 1-0 victory over the Reds in the Champions League final in Paris, with a Vinicius Junior goal being the difference. Neither of those defeats could stop Liverpool celebrating a successful year with a bus parade, and the fans were adamant that there were more good times to come for their favourite team. Tens of thousands of people flocked to the Belgian town of Dendermonde to witness a historic parade that featured 4 children riding a giant horse. Known as the Bayard Steed, the 4.85-meter tall wooden figure carried by 12 men had not been shown in public for 12 years. Some 86,000 onlookers, according to a police count, witnessed the 1-ton statue crossing the Flemish city, dancing to the rhythm of a marching band, accompanied by giant figures, acrobats, and some 2,000 actors in historical costumes. The horse, 5.2 meters long and made out of wood, iron and material, arrived on the town's central square and pranced towards its assailants. The saga of the Bayard Steed traces its origins to a medieval chants and Gesti, or chivalrous tale, involving Frankish Emperor Charlemagne asking for a local warlord's prized war horse in exchange for a peace deal. The folk ritual is not only enacted once every 10 years and was supposed to take place in 2020, but was postponed 2 times because of the coronavirus pandemic. The parade was enlisted in 2008 on the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity and will take place again in 2030. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Cheryl Shaminato. Thank you for watching.